Hi there, Carson Heady. I've been really fortunate in my career. Also recently, have had a lot of interest in the concept of the career walking deck. Um, this is a concept I came across a handful of years ago. Had some internal folks that had shown me, the benefit of this. I did a leadership development program that I was a part of, where I learned some concepts around the value of the walking deck and also how to construct it. And then I had a mentor a few years back that I really gravitated toward the method that he utilized in putting this together, and it kind of lifted the format. And so today, my deck has been downloaded a couple thousand times just over the last few weeks. Wanted to walk through it and just some of the concepts behind it. Also looking to learn from you. If there's things that you're leveraging or that you have really found work well. Um, would love to share. I think this is one of those hustle stats, right? It's one of the things that doesn't necessarily show up in the box score, but as you know, when you're going for a role, or frankly, when you're doing your appraisal and you're articulating some of the unique superpowers and passions that you have, and also the value and the outcomes that you're driving, the impact that you have, it's valuable to be able to articulate those things broadly. And it's valuable to be able to articulate those things for a potential hiring manager, a potential mentor, a potential sponsor, because each of these people play very distinct and unique roles. They can play similar roles. They can play the same role. It could be the same person, but they could also be very distinct, people that are playing different roles in your career, making you better, um, vouching for you, recommending you for roles, and also giving you day-to-day coaching. So the walking deck. This is a copy of my career walking deck. So as I kind of launch in with page one, kind of a splash page of these are some of the awards. Yes, my one of my daughters, a couple of my daughters are very into rainbows, so I liked having kind of the rainbow motif. What's great too about PowerPoint now is that leveraging tools like Copilot and Designer inside of PowerPoint, it can help you make some of these designs a lot better if you don't have the creative flair, like me. So page one, my roles, kind of what I'm known for, and some of the awards and accolades that I've been blessed to receive. Here's something that originally was not on my walking deck, and that was a personal slide. I kind of came up as one of those like, hey, like, get to business quickly. That was the environment that I started my career in. Get to the business quickly. Um, Best manager that I've ever had instilled in me, hey, get to know people first. Ask how people are doing. Plug in. And that's actually sometimes healthily derailed my agenda for one-on-ones with people on my team. They've got something that's really pressing, that's top of mind. Let's gravitate toward that instead, because it's in the spirit of really getting to know people, and having that bid to connect, as my friend Bill Kirst likes to say. That is where you want to start. So here's me. My gorgeous family, my fun pets, my passion around writing, some of the cool things that I've been able to do, and the opportunities that have been created over the years, thanks to becoming the number one social seller in tech. I've got a long backstory with Gavin DeGraw, the guy who sang "I Don't Want to Be for One Tree Hill." Yes. He at his concert is when I proposed to my wife. So, long story. Glad to tell you sometime if you want to know. And then I'm a huge James Bond fan as well. I've got a lot of passion for the Michael J. Fox Foundation and a few other nonprofits. So that's me in a nutshell. The big picture, you like to kind of cast like, hey, this is who I am in a nutshell. How often, do we reach out to somebody and we feel compelled to tell them literally every single thing about ourselves because we don't know exactly what's going to resonate? It's kind of like selling, Sometimes salespeople show up and they just list off a lot of great, valuable assets, hoping that something latches on. Well, it's not. It's not about that. This is me in a nutshell, and these are some of the unique things. This is what I'm looking for. I like putting the strengths finder in. People, it's a good conversation piece. Furthermore, kind of what some of the recognition that I've had, showing that I've had some success in multiple areas, but also that I have some unique roles like podcast host. I've been fortunate to interview hundreds of sales gurus, influencers, and even the guy who created the Tom Cruise movie Cocktail. I've done a lot of cool things and being able to showcase that, but also what I'm looking for specifically, because I love the game. I love sales and I love sales leadership. So that's the big picture. Being able to kind of go through too my performance. Why me? This is actually an avatar that was created for me in a training that was rolled out to folks. But how I've performed, numbers are key. Somebody who's reviewing this, you ultimately want them to read this and say, "Wow, I can picture this person working for me." And so results, tangible outcomes, those types of things are really important. I've had some phenomenal wins. And so to really be able to outline that is key. I do want to point out as well that I've anonymized this. I've removed customer specific information. I do have a public case study that's linked here of a relationship that I'm very proud of. But I've taken out some details that so that I can make this publicly consumable. You're going to want to focus on your key wins. I had a lot of customer names on this slide for my internal version, and you're going to want to do the exact same thing. And I encourage you to update this from time to time. I actually just recently updated this because I was having so many mentoring conversations around it, and I realized I hadn't updated it in a year. So it was time to get it up to snuff with the latest. I had a phenomenal win. I became known for social selling and generated over $1 billion in revenue doing just that, of deals that never would have existed without going to line of business owners with LinkedIn outreach. And nine-figure win that came out of that, really anchoring on how we created and drove that deal. Something that I really loved, and I saw this on someone else's career walking deck, is having a slide or two on perspectives. What did people say about you? Now, I removed the names and titles. Some of these are leadership, senior to me. Those are important. You want people that maybe you've worked for or that have been skip levels to say positive things, ideally, about you. Those are the types of things that are going to be your calling card when you're going out and connecting with new potential hiring managers and skip levels. And so those perspectives are key. I've got people that have worked for me, I've got people that have worked with me, and the people I've worked for. What do I bring? Again, you really want to anchor this on your unique components. I've got a image up there of when I got to present to our CEO. It's pretty cool. And panel that I was on, little round table. But some of the unique things that I can say about, like, what do I uniquely bring? I have a lot of experience, and even if you don't have a level of experience, there's surely projects, could even be school projects, volunteering, coaching sports. There's a lot of experiences that you can bring to bear. At the end of the day, a hiring manager wants to de-risk their decision. You want to help them de-risk this decision by showing them that if you were put into situations that they're going to handle on a daily basis, you will thrive. Not just survive, you will thrive. You will succeed because you've done it before. To be able to show up to a situation and have relevant experience is key. There's always going to be a ramp, and I always encourage people to be very respectful of that ramp. You don't want to show up and act like it's going to be a cakewalk for you because it diminishes the uniqueness of a role. So you always want to acknowledge what is, that there will be a ramp, and you want to also uncover what the onboarding process looks like and things of that stature. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to showcase this is who I am and what I'm all about. I made this generic. I had a 30, 60, 90 in here for the role I'm in today, actually. But the key element for 30, 60, 90, these have almost become table stakes, right? Creating the 30, 60, 90. all the more reason why I say do the full walking deck because you'll stand out. And a walking deck can literally be sent as an appetizer. I like sending it in advance of an informational with a leader, or just frankly anyone that you want to know you a little bit better before a conversation. What's beautiful about these is that the conversations often will pivot toward something that might have the hiring manager or the person you're speaking to gravitated toward from your deck. A lot of times from the personal slide. Hey, I really like this. I do this too. I like to go hiking. I like to camp, whatever it is. So 30, 60, 90, you're going to want to make that very specific. While it is table stakes, it's table stakes. You got to do it. And you want to showcase that you're going to dive in. You're going to learn. You're going to listen. You're going to meet everybody. You're going to kind of get at the pulse of what matters. I always stress I'm not looking to make changes my first 30 days per se. So I think sometimes people expect that out of managers. New managers come in, make their mark, make changes. Not looking to do that. I want to understand what worked, what is working, what isn't working, get feedback from the team, establish cadences, establish a rhythm, start earning trust. Over time, you're going to assess and you're going to ultimately tweak the process. But right out of the gate, you've got to focus in on people. So that is my career walking deck. Hopefully, this is helpful and open to questions, feedback. I'm always learning on this journey, and that's the beauty, isn't it? Thanks for the time. Hope this was helpful. All the best.